think it's all working. I'm hoping. We're going to see. Trying to make sure it is. Welcome, Sticks and Stones. I think you're going to love this episode. I have a great pairing for us today. I am going to be pairing. I'm just trying to make sure all my technology is working. But I'm going to be pairing Woodford Reserve, the standard, with a Southern Draw Cedrus. Make sure that I got that in both cameras. So, because I've got Instagram and I got everybody else. So, but I think it's going to be a great pairing. We're going to dive right on in. Like I said, just trying to make sure that I'm broadcasting out to the world. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're out there. And yes, I am wearing a jacket. It is mid-April. It was almost 90 degrees yesterday or the day before, and today it's like 65 to 70, something like that. The heater upstairs was on. I went up and changed the filters out, and yeah, the heater came on while I was up there. I was like, it's as crazy as it can be. But it's Texas. If you don't like the weather, just stick around a little while. It'll change. We can generally have all 4 seasons in one day if you drive around enough, because it does take 12 hours to get from Texarkana to El Paso, and about 12 hours to get from Amarillo to Brownsville. So big state, lots of different stuff going on. All right, I still haven't seen if I'm actually broadcasting or not. Well, we just gonna roll with it. So it says I'm live. All right, Woodford Reserve. Love the cork pop. Somebody asked on X earlier this week. It was like, so is a cork a real like requirement for whiskey? What about screw tops? And I was like, I will always make a note during an interview, during an episode, if I have a bottle, no matter how much I like it, if it's got a screw top. I don't like screw tops. Old school cork. You need to be able to hear it. It's just the way it is. Let's go ahead and glass a little of this up because I'm busy rattling about all different kinds of stuff. And I know y'all are here for spirits and cigars. Now, that is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spirit in the glass. It's got that really wonderful kind of deep copper color. It's got really nice legs to it. It is a mash bill of 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. So it's going to be sweet. It's going to have a little pepper to it. And then you got the malted barley, which, that's just kind of the reaction, the reaction agent or whatever. It is 90.4 proof, which is 45.2% alcohol by volume. So on the nose. This does have a wonderful nose on it. I know some of the other Woodford Reserves, the double oaked and like that, which I really love, they get a little bit, more play on those. But the standard Woodford Reserve is just a great spirit. On the nose, you get this really like rich and inviting notes of caramel and vanilla, kind of layered over a little bit of oak. There's some subtle dried fruitness in there. Raisins, maybe some orange peel, and then you kind of mingle in some baking spices and just a sprinkle of cocoa. I do see that there is something I'm going to have to do going forward. I'm going to have to put that camera here and this camera there. I think, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, we'll get back. We'll get back to what we're supposed to be talking about now on the palate. That is a very balanced and silky palate for this spirit. You get some really great notes of sweet caramel and honey. That kind of leads the charge. and then it's followed up with some cinnamon spice, some toasted nuts. It's got a nice, gentle, oaky kind of backbone to it. Kind of mid-palate. You get a little bit of kind of dark chocolate, sweet, bitter sweetness, and that just really that kind of bittersweet kind of keeps it from being overly sweet. Kind of cuts it out there just a little bit. The finish is a really nice, very nice medium length finish. Um, you get the lingering spice, some light oak kind of tannins, and then just a soft fade of vanilla sweetness, just kind of slowly dying off, gone. It is a wonderful, wonderful spirit, especially considering the price point. Um, it's a great everyday sipper, in my opinion. Mm. Now, on to the cigar. Sorry, this is still bothering me about whether or not everybody can see me or hear me or, you know, whatever. Um, you gotta make sure. You got to make sure. And as a matter of fact, there I am, right there. All right, I heard myself, so now I can turn it down. I know I'm there. Oh, a whole bunch of people watching. You would think, at least here in Texas, with the weather like this, you're not going to be out doing stuff. So, what better to do than sit and listen to me? Speaking of listening to me, if your subscriber on X costs you $1 a month, you would have known what this pairing was going to be 3 days ago. You could have already either dusted the dust off your Woodford Reserve bottle or gone to the liquor store and got you another one, rounded you up a Southern Draw Cedrus, and then you could participate in the show. As I'm drinking and smoking, you can be drinking and smoking, saying, hey, he doesn't know what he's talking about, or, I do, I get that. All right, anyway, $1 a month on X. Go subscribe. You should, really should. And I'll have more stuff other than just early access to the pairings as we go along. But that's where I started. So, all right, the wrapper, it's a proprietary Cedrus cut Habano hybrid, um, and the fillers and the binder are both Nicaraguan. Um, as you can see, kind of hold it where everybody can see it. It is a beautiful stick. I have a medium kind of chocolatey brown. There are very, very few veins visible. I mean, literally could probably count them on one hand. And that is, you can kind of see the hump right there. Maybe you can up there. Anyway, that is the most pronounced vein on the entire wrapper leaf. The seams are tight and somewhat visible, and it has a very large double cap. And I do love the banding. It's simple. It doesn't detract from the cigar, uh, but it tells you what you need to know, right? All right, on the nose. You get a nice earthy cedar and some fresh hay and a little bit of subtle floral sweetness with just a hint of white pepper. Um, it's got a really, it's got a simple nose, but it is a very pleasant nose. Get my cutter. Gonna using the Cigar V cutter, and I am in my own cigar lounge here at the No Shoes Bar and Grill, so I can do that. Um, don't do that in your regular cigar shop. Yeah, you'll get some people mad at you unless you're using your own cutter and you put it right back in your pocket. So very nice V cut. Now Cold draw. You get some nice creamy cedar and a little light spice. Um, there's a faint nuttiness to it. I also pick up a little bit of like dried fruit, like maybe some raisins, just kind of in the background. And it is very refined and wonderfully balanced. So, all right, now are we ready? I have since it's kind of damp outside today, I went ahead and broke the Rocky Patel 5 torch out. The Envoy will flat light them up. Pretty decent job of lighting. Make sure my single torch is working in case I need to touch it up. Sorry, I normally have something on in the background so that I have something to look at other than just myself. Uh, how about some Totten Hotspur and Brighton and Hoban Hove Albion Premier League soccer. And it's that time of year, just not a whole lot on, you know. All right, back to what we're doing. This off the light, this is a very cedar forward palette with some light baking spices, a nice creamy texture to it. There's a little bit of light pepper that kind of dances through the retrohale, and maybe just a hint of like a citrus or lemon zest in the retro. All right, let's try them together. It's a really good cigar. You know how much I love that. Doesn't mean anything, but I just like watching the smoke hang in the glass. It kind of reminds me of you know, scary movies with they have dry ice in the water bubbling, steam rising off of it. It's really cool. Uh, right out of the gate, the bourbons, caramel and vanilla, really amplify the cigar's cedar sweetness, creating kind of this warm, almost dessert-like introduction. While the Cedrus does a great job of melding in with the all of the palate flavors coming off of the Woodford Reserve. Um, you know, you get that cedar forward with the baking spices, and it really melds and supports the palate on the Woodford with that, you know, sweet caramel and honey and some baking spices of its own, a little bit of toasted nuts that just all kind of works together extremely well. I'm trying to stay away from really so much because I really use really a lot. You know, anyway, where are we at? Oh man, we're doing good. I only have one contact in today. That was the fix to my eye problems. And I don't have a contact in the eye that was giving me the problems. So I don't know. It's called keratoconus. I had LASIK 25 years ago, and I did great for the first 12 years. I had eyes like a hawk after being like 2,400 in each eye. I was blind. And what ended up happening was they had to take off so much material because my eyesight was so bad that over the years, my left eye, the structure of the eye kind of started weakening, and it kind of got out of shape, so that as the image passed through the front of my eye, it didn't hit the back of my eyeball exactly the way it was supposed to, and it kind of left me with almost like a double vision. It was like everything was smudged, and so my regular optometrist tried and tried and tried to get me fixed, sent me to an ophthalmologist. They were going to bathe my eye in steroids, all this kind of stuff. But they ended up deciding that now that I'm approaching 60, that I have stabilized, and shouldn't be getting any worse as far as misshapening. And so they sent me to a specialist optometrist who deals in nothing but basically nothing. He's considered the country's foremost expert in like scleral lenses. They're much larger than your regular contact, soft contact lens. They're much bigger around, and they're hard. I got different things in each eye, right? Different prescription. So he tries the first one. I'm like, Doc, I can't see crap out of these. I can't see far off, even with reading glasses, which he said I'd probably have to have. Can't see close up. So he ordered me some more. But we ended up taking the right one from the new prescription and the left one from the old prescription, and we're trying that. So I've been trying that for a couple of weeks. I just walked around with just the right one in the other day, and I'm like, this is great. I see much better. I can see far off. I can see close up. It's still a little fuzzy, but not bad. Not bad. I mean, I can read the stuffs on that. Somehow, with these on, and it's a little hazy out, but I can see, hang on, we're telling more followers to join your video. Yes, do that. Tell more followers to join in. I see some folks have joined in. Ben Taylor, thank you. CEC Woolley, thank you. Glad you're here. And I'm loving it. It's great. Now, for those of you that has just joined, I'll kind of go over what we've already covered. I'm pairing Woodford Reserve, just the standard Woodford Reserve, with a Southern Draw Cedrus, and this is it's about a 6x52 on the ring gauge. The Woodford Reserve has a beautiful nose on it that's just full of caramel and vanilla and some toasted oak with some like raisins and orange peel mingled in there, a little bit of baking spice and a touch of cocoa. Hang on. On the palate, it's balanced and very silky. You get sweet caramel and honey right off the bat. That's followed up with some cinnamon spice and some toasted nuts and a nice, gentle kind of oaky backbone. And then as the sip goes across your tongue, more mid-palate, you get a little bit of like faint dark chocolate bittersweetness, just to kind of cut the honey and the caramel sweetness in the beginning. The finish is a medium finish with some lingering spice, some light oak tannins, and then just a fade out of vanilla sweetness. It's really great. Really great. Very wonderful. Trying not to use really as much. The Cedrus has a wonderful, fairly simple nose to it. You get kind of an earthy cedar and some fresh hay, a little bit of floral sweetness. There's a hint of white pepper in there. On the light, it's cedar forward with baking spices and a nice creamy texture to the smoke. Uh, the light pepper, there's a light pepperiness that kind of dances around on the retrohale, along with a little bit of citrus tartness, maybe like a lemon zest, just a little bit, not a lot. And then when you pair them together, the bourbons, caramel and vanilla, really do a great job of supporting the cedar sweetness, creating this kind of a desserty type sort of interplay, while the cigar with its cedar forwardness really support in many ways. I don't know how to do really. I'm sorry. I'm just really supports the bourbon structure. It's really great smoke. It's very great, awesome, wonderful. I don't know how else you want to describe that. While we're sitting here, wherever you are, whether you're on X, YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, hit that like button, smash the subscribe button. That way you'll always know when I'm putting out new stuff. I post every day on YouTube. If you haven't been over to the YouTube channel, I do have a playlist. I guess that's what you'd call it. Cigar musings. I post them every so often on the different sites where when I can. Basically like 15 or 20 seconds, and it's just sayings that are in reference to cigars and generally whiskey, bourbon. It's actually, even though I haven't promoted it a whole lot, I get a lot more views on that than I do my regular pairings. Like I'll have one of my little, 20-second sayings, and in 24 hours, it'll have like 3,000 views. And I try and post one every day. Every day. Got a great burn going. Hold that up a little higher. I think that's very straight. Not razor straight, but that's very straight. It's got a little hump on that side right there, but not much at all. This is probably one of the straightest burning cigars I've had. And those stacks of nice kind of white and gray ash, beautiful. It's a very well constructed cigar. Produces a wonderful volume of smoke. It doesn't overpower you with smoke, but it's also, you're not having to, like, well, I won't even use the reference. You're not having to try real hard. Like, oh shit, what's his name? Ricky Gravis, or Gravas, however he says it. When he did the Oscars, he's just like, I can't do this joke. They did it anyway. I won't. I'll leave it there. Mm. And I'm telling you, this Woodford Reserve it's a wonderful, like, everyday sipper. You come home, long day at work, just want to sit down, turn on the TV, put you a little in a glass, just a couple of fingers. Don't even. I mean, this is a wonderful spirit to sip neat. When I'm not doing the show, I will typically have a cube or a block, a ball or a block in my glass, um, because I just prefer cold drinks. It's just the way I am. But when I do the show, of course, I do it neat. This is one you can sip it neat. It doesn't need to be chilled. It's wonderful. Probably one of the best just sipping whiskeys, um, in this kind of price point. I mean, my like real go-tos for just an everyday kind of sipper is something more in the like wheated bourbons as opposed to corn and rye and corn and wheat. Like a Maker's Mark. I love Penelope's wheated bourbon, uh, stuff like that. But this gets right in there and holds its own with them. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and tilt you guys down just a little bit farther. I try to get my whole cowboy hat in there, That's the look. But you can't quite see what's going on. I have to hold stuff up higher so all you guys back there from the Rumble feed can see. And you guys down here, Instagram, that's all there is. You're just Instagram. I can't seem to get it set up where I can do Instagram and all my other things at the same time. You can do Instagram or you can not do Instagram. So I figured it out though. I had to go old school, wired microphone, plugged into this phone right here. I've got two sets of wireless mics. They're completely different brands, a whole bit. But anytime I would put both of them on, one of them would shut the other one down. And I'd come up with a video where I was talking and nothing was coming out on one feed. So I said, okay, well, I'll put a wire on it. That'll fix it. And I think it did. Well, let me know if you can't hear me. I have to say, where am I at here? This has got a very nice sort of slow burn. It's not terribly slow. It's a little humid out here today as it rained overnight and apparently stormed, and I slept through it. Uh, but it's not a real fast burner. We're 25 minutes in, and I probably lit it 15 minutes ago, and we're not quite to the halfway mark yet. We still got a little ways to go. Mm. Making for a great day, really great day. I had to put a jacket on because it's a little cool here, but I am wearing my Sticks-n-Stones. Here I am. Send me T-shirt. You can get that over at our Amazon store. I'll try another puff or two off of this before I tap it, but it inevitably ends up in my lap. I don't like that. We also have a store for the more, I guess you'd say, conservative side of the house over at redbubble.com. There's a lot more stuff over there. Pretty much on Amazon, it's the Sticks-n-Stones t-shirts. But go to Redbubble, and I got, like, for my military folks like I am, I've got the Army veteran, Navy veteran, Air Force veteran, Rocky Freedom veteran, all that stuff, all, like stickers for your go in your car or whatever. Your truck. I got a truck. I got a Chevy Silverado 1500. Pretty much had a little bit of everything. I've driven Ford, Dodge, Jeep, Chevy, and GMC. I have a lot of guys that I was in the military with. They're all like, "You got to drive one kind of truck, and all the other trucks suck." And I'm like, I've driven them all. They all have something that. There's one thing with every single one of them that's that particular truck's issue. I've had 3 or 4 Chevys and GMCs, all of them except this one, and I've only had this one about 2 years. Had ended up having problems with the gas gauge. Gas gauge wasn't accurate. The Dodge, it has a air escape valve for the gas tank. When you're putting gas in it, there's a little valve to let the air out as the gas continues to fill up the space. That got clogged up, and they said, "Well, we'll have to drop the gas tank." And that's always the way it is. I always got to do something big. So it's going to cost you $1,000 to clean this little vent out. I said, "I'll just trade it in." So I did. The Ford was front end. It's 4-wheel drive. Had front end problems by the time I got rid of it. But the Jeep, I could never. This is kind of a strange issue to have in a Jeep, but I could never get the Wi-Fi to work. I'm like, I'm not paying $30 a month to AT&T for Wi-Fi that doesn't work. So you try to go on a trip, the kids be wanting to watch Netflix or something on the iPads, and you can't get the Wi-Fi to work. And of course, if you're driving from Dallas to Florida, there's a whole lot of area in there that cell coverage is especially when you're talking about trying to stream movies. So I need to go and just get Elon Starlink. Then I can have service everywhere. High-speed internet everywhere you are. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tap this off. There we go. So I'm afraid it's going to fall in my lap. And we're nearing the halfway mark, and I'll give you my halfway thoughts, and then kind of what I think overall, because I've already test smoked this. And I'll let you get on with your Saturday, because I know got things to do. I was going to do some planting. I got some gardenias and some azaleas to plant, but it's rained today, so I'm probably going to do it tomorrow. Ground will still be wet I have to hook my Chevy Silverado to 2 bushes in the front that I need to jerk out of the ground before I can put the azaleas in. See, you listen to this show, you get all kinds of stuff. You not only get spirits and cigars, you get gardening, you get television, you get technology, everything. Automotives. I'm kind of your go-to for anything you might want to hear. Hmm, that is a really, really good cigar. I think though, on the Southern Draw, the Rose of Sharon, that's my favorite. I got some more of those coming. I bought 2 variety 5-packs from my local cigar shop in Fuego. Um, and so I got 2, since I got 2 5-packs, 2 of every cigar that was in there. You got 2 Rose of Sharons, 2 Cedrus. So I've done my test smokes, and yeah, I've got 1 more left. Can't remember which one it is. Kudzu maybe. And the Rose of Sharon that's a really good cigar. Really good. Got a really nice light wrapper on it. It's perfect for those that might be just getting into cigars because it's not overpowering. It's got some really great flavors to it, and it's a perfect starting place. You know, it's kind of like the Olive or Oliva, uh, the O's and the G's. Um, you know, it's got that lighter kind of Connecticut type wrapper on it. Mm. I do have some wonderful episodes upcoming. You know, I try to plan this ahead. We are a professional operation around here, and so I've got some great ones coming. So you're definitely going to want to stay in the know. And if you subscribe on X, it costs you $1 a month to subscribe to Sticks-n-Stonez. $1. Like the notes for this show came out to the subscribers on Wednesday. So they already knew. You could have already gone to the cigar shop. You could have already gone to the liquor store, and you could just smoke and drink right along with me and see if you get what I get. Because it's cigars and whiskey, specifically cigars, but whiskey too. It's very individual to the person. What one person picks up, another person may not. But telling you what I think. As we've got kind of closer into the halfway mark, um, the complexity kind of builds, and we really bring in some great notes of dried fruit, like maybe raisins, maybe some dried apricots, things like that. Um, there's some almond and sort of a sweet bread note kind of emerges. Think something along the lines of the King's Hawaiian. It's a little sweeter bread, right? But it's not like a cake, not that sweet. So, oh, here's something else. Before I tell you how it is, I just thought of this. I watched this video the other night on YouTube. When I read the little tagline as I was scrolling on, I got to see what this guy says. It was an Irishman tries uh, cornbread for the first time, and I'm like, oh, I got to see what he says. Funny as it could be. He mixes it up and everything, and he's got his pan, he's going to put it in, and his instructions says because he's got the box and he's got the phone looking at the box, and it says spray the pan with Pam with a capital P, right? And he's like, who the fuck is Pam? I died laughing. Now, together, as the Cedrus has developed that kind of layered complexity, the rye spice in the bourbon, because remember it's 72. How did I say? 72% corn. See, I get to talking and I forget stuff. 18% rye. That's what I thought. But I couldn't make the math work in my head. So it's got a fairly significant amount of rye in it, which does add that peppery component. But the rye spice in the bourbon really kind of begins to shine, cutting through the cigar's kind of creaminess, and it really kind of helps elevate and support those baking spices that are in both. Right, the pear really becomes more dynamic as you kind of get to that halfway mark. I mean, you've enjoyed it through, but it's just like building to a crescendo, right? Very good. Very good. I hope I'm giving you plenty. I'm going to go ahead. Hey, I see some other people have joined in. Thank you for joining. I'm glad you're here. I'm waving at everybody I can. Yeah, if you can find either in your local cigar shop or online, you can get them online, that the 5-pack sampler, it gives you the opportunity to kind of test all of Southern Draw's cigars. This was my first time trying Southern Draw when I started this this series, which ended up not being a straight 5-week series because I've stuck stuff in between. But they make some really good cigars, very good cigars. Rosa Sharon, though, that's the best one so far. I got one more left, but so far it's taken the cake. It's king of the hill in the Southern Draws thus far. Man. Cotton's up 2-1 over whoever it was they were playing. BHA, I can't remember. And my Bayern Munich Reds play tomorrow in the semifinals of the Champions League. Ah, man, it's PSG tomorrow, Paris Saint Germain, and they're a fairly tough team. But this year we've been smoking. There are European soccer fans out there that are saying that Bayern Munich is probably the best soccer team this year in Europe. We have a prolific front line. Harry Kane's the striker. He's already scored 50 goals this year. If he can get 23 or 28 in the next 9 games, he'll pass Lionel Messi for the record of, I think it's 78, something like that, for a season. He's been on fire. And then you've got Michael Olise. He's a Belgian fella that is he plays on the right on our squad, and then we brought in Lucho. He's on the left. Just watching these guys play, so far they've just been on an almost different level. They've lost a couple of games, a couple of matches, but for the most part, they're going out there and just taking care of business. See, you even got European soccer, Bundesliga. You get everything on this show. Why do you need to go anywhere else? Now, I don't do the political stuff. I tried that for a little while, a year or so ago. It's way too divisive, and it's yeah. I got away from that. We do seem to be picking up our burn as we're moving along here. So, where are we at? Yeah, about time for me to break it on off here because I don't want to keep y'all. This is Saturday, right? Um, as we went along in the final third, the Cedrus gets deeper and more robust with an earthiness, an espresso, and the spice tones have gotten deeper. They kind of take over while still maintaining the balance with the Woodford Reserve. The earth and espresso kind of combine with Woodford's oak and subtle cocoa, that kind of backbone I talked about in the beginning, and kind of locks together beautifully. The bourbon smooths out the cigar's strength, kind of keeps it in check, while the cigar adds depth to the whiskey's finish. It's great. Just the highlights: caramel and cedar equals a warm and sweet harmony. The rye spice kind of enhances the cigar's complexity. That's out of the Woodford Reserve. The cocoa and espresso notes create a nice, rich, layered finish. It is balanced from start to finish, never one overpowering the other. This is really a refined and balanced pairing that leans into the complexity without becoming overwhelming. Woodford Reserve bourbon provides a smooth, slightly sweet backbone, while the Southern Draws, Cedrus, delivers an evolving depth and sophistication. I would give this pairing a 9.3 out of 10. I think it's a really great pairing. Neither one of these offerings are like cream of the crop kind of stuff. Like, people, if you're in a, not worried about, how much you're spending on a bottle, and you're trying to decide between the regular Woodford Reserve and the double oaked, you're probably going to take the double oak. Yeah, double oaked. But just as far as these two going together, it's a great, great pairing. I hope you have enjoyed this episode as much as I have enjoyed bringing it to you. Please hit like, subscribe, share, notify, ring all the bells, blow all the whistles. Tell your friends. Definitely tell your friends. And if you subscribe, $1 a month on X, go look me up. Sticks-n-Stonez 2. $1 a month, you'll have my my pairing notes before the show, 3 days ahead of time. Gives you plenty of time to ponder them and pick them up for yourself, and then you can smoke and drink right along with me. Until we get to be together again, keep your sticks dry, your stones cold. Have a great day.